Olá, muito bom dia. Bem-vindos a um evento IKEA de apresentação de campanha de marketing para a imprensa, para a mídia. Muito obrigada por terem aceito este convite para estarem connosco esta manhã. Esta vai ser uma manhã bilingue, porque não vamos apenas falar convosco, vamos ter também alguns colegas da equipa da IKEA Global. O meu nome é Helena Gouveia, sou responsável de marketing da IKEA Portugal e é com muito orgulho que vos apresento hoje uma campanha que foi feita exclusivamente para Portugal, mas que está pronta para ser lançada no mundo. Hey to our friends in IKEA globally. They're going to be with us during this morning also to share a bit how is the process of developing products at IKEA. But first we will start by presenting this campaign. We are very happy to share this super campaign that we have developed together with IKEA globally, a ready-to-made campaign to be focused on Portugal and the market needs. And this is a campaign that we really feel that is crucial for our market and that the Portuguese will really embrace. So I'll start by presenting this campaign. And I will need support for the presentation, please, because I'm not seeing it. So if the colleagues could help me with that, would be lovely. Yes. So hey, it's how we say hola to everyone. And to share again that we are developing today a presentation focused on the Portuguese. So this started actually with a Portuguese briefing to the IKEA global marketing team, and we really wanted to create something that had the quality also to be embraced by other markets. So it started as a Portuguese dream and ambition, but actually other markets will implement this campaign as we speak as well. So what is democratic design? And it's a very internal concept that we use at IKEA, but we really feel that it's so strong and such a difference and differentiator from any other brand that connects with home furnishing. And I'll probably explain a bit in Portuguese now what democratic design means. Para nós, o design democrático é de facto um conceito apaixonante. É a forma como desenvolvemos produtos, mas acima de tudo como nos conectamos com o consumidor. Em Portugal, especificamente, tínhamos uma necessidade de mostrar que, por um lado, é importante escolher produtos com a qualidade, a sustentabilidade, a forma e a função que os portugueses mais preferem, mas sempre com a dimensão preço. Sabemos que os portugueses têm um dos rendimentos mais baixos da Europa e, portanto, a IKEA e a sua base e origem ligam-se perfeitamente a esta realidade. Para nós, o design democrático, como vos explicava, tem 5 funções no seu desenvolvimento de produtos. Portanto, os designers e os product developers com quem vamos falar daqui a pouco, provavelmente vão explicar um bocadinho mais em detalhe o que é que isto quer dizer, mas quando falamos de forma e função, sabemos que em Portugal é algo bastante valioso. Os portugueses valorizam imenso o lado estético do seu mobiliário em casa. A qualidade é obviamente uma prioridade para o nosso mercado e a sustentabilidade cada vez mais está a diferenciar-se no nosso país. Os portugueses querem selecionar produtos que têm uma vertente de sustentabilidade tanto nos materiais com que selecionamos para produzir os nossos produtos, mas também no que acontece a seguir no ciclo de vida do produto. Acima de tudo, tem que ter um preço IKEA, portanto tem que ser acessível para a maioria das pessoas e temos que garantir que de facto estes produtos consigam chegar à maioria dos portugueses, independentemente da sua carteira. And now I'll pass to English so that my colleagues can also understand. After understanding what democratic design is, it is from an internal side how we develop products using these 5 dimensions, but it starts with the consumer and with consumer insights. So this is just an example of the Life at Home report that we yearly present to the markets, where we go and try to understand in depth what is happening in people's homes. And actually in Portugal, not very differently from the world in this pandemic context, we realized that actually people want to spend more time with their family, they want to cook more and in a healthy way. They still want to continue working from home because they realize that actually there are some positives in this process, and they want to also continue to do some exercise at home, to do other different activities that they didn't used to do. So this new idea of the home has really also created an explosion of needs. I can also highlight is that actually 58% of the Portuguese would like to change something in their homes. This was the question made during pandemic times. And this goes a bit with a higher percentage versus the global average, which is 47. So here you can really see that the Portuguese really want to do something with their homes and really create something that can be enjoyable and lived in their everyday. And having that, so knowing that Portugal has one of the lowest incomes in Europe, that the IKEA purpose has never been so relevant nowadays with this explosion of needs, with these new activities that happen in the home, we really need to create a campaign that highlights what democratic design means in 2021. So it starts with different dimensions, but the overall concept is that we design for living. So IKEA designs for living. So o design é para ser vivido. And what does that mean? It means that actually it's good that we choose amazing products with form and function, but they need to be used. They need to pass the test of wear and tear. And it's okay to put your feet on a table. It's okay to really have fun with the products, to play with your kids at home, to exercise in the living room. It's really the idea of democratizing furniture is that you really can enjoy the things you purchase. So this really is a concept that we thought it was super strong, not only in Portugal, but across the world. This campaign is a completely 360 campaign that starts today with a PR event, but then will be amplified in different channels. But we developed something that we call attract communication, which is really to emphasize this concept in a TV spot, but also digital, social media films. It has a series of 4 films that I'll present to you now in Portuguese, and that really highlight this tension between what is a beautiful product that only IKEA could design, that could live very well in an art gallery, but since it was developed by IKEA, it needs to live in the chaotic and beautiful everyday life at home. So with this tension that we really feel that highlights what IKEA stands for, we launched the campaign today. So let's start by watching the first film that I hope you enjoy.
O design. Linhas elegantes e equilibradas que são... O que se passa? Cuidado! Felizmente a mesa está preparada para algumas aventuras. Bem jogado, pai. O design tem um preço e na IKEA é muito baixo.
Now the short films.
As linhas delicadas do design intemporal que são tão fáceis de levar para onde bem nos apetece. O design. A tensão entre a forma e a função que resulta em algo que podemos usar quando é preciso. O design, a cor, a estética, que resiste a tudo. E é um preço que podemos pagar.
And this is just a glimpse of the campaign where you can see really iconic products from IKEA that the Portuguese love. We selected products that we really feel and we know that the Portuguese are searching for on our website, are sharing in social media, and these are also products that we are so proud of and that really connect with the 5 dimensions of democratic design that I just explained to you. This idea that design is to be lived, it's to be fun, it's to be useful, is something so powerful and that really connects with our brand. It's a 360 campaign, as I explained. We will start today with this digital content going live in social media, but also TV. This will also have an out-of-home approach, and it's of course going to be available on ikea.pt and in the stores. So if you happen to visit the stores, you also see this very much highlighted in our point of purchase. And it's not just about this tension that I mentioned about really high quality, beautiful design, and also this idea that it needs to be lived in. Actually, we feel that the dimension of democratic design is developing, and that actually consumer should choose democratically what happens and what is the usage of the products that they buy. So we're going to play also, and with our very curious and playful tone of voice, with many different examples in social media of connecting with consumers and asking them, how do you use a specific product? So in this case, are you an introvert where you put everything inside the drawers, or are you an extrovert and you like to show off the things you love in your home? And we're going to have a multitude of examples that can really fit this idea. But we also need to have fun, and it's so important that you can really see that a product that we actually thought was designed for something, consumers are telling us differently, and it's good to also embrace that. So this is just a funny example of our Variera box usage. To amplify this campaign, we'll also work with influencers. So it's something very positive that we usually work with the big campaigns within IKEA. We're going to have a multitude of influencers in Portugal that will also share their favorite products, how they use it in their homes, and they also amplify this idea of democratic design. And I have to, of course, thank you, the fantastic collaboration between the Portuguese team and the Global IKEA team. A special thanks to Karin and Linda, who were in the whole development of this campaign. This was developed by IKEA Marketing and Communications AB in cooperation with the Swedish agency Orchestram Host. I hope I'm spelling it right. A big thank you to Christopher von Reis, our director of this beautiful campaign, and the production agency Von Films. In Portugal, this was also beautifully adapted into the Portuguese language by Usina, our creative agency. Proud, supported in the local production. Mediacom has developed this 360 media campaign, and Sammy Rhodes is helping, of course, with the digital influencers. And I hope you had a glimpse of the campaign. I think now it's so important that we actually go behind the scenes and we connect with the everyday. So that's why I have two very important guests today. Hey, to Mikael Axelsson and to Anthony Smith. Mikael is an IKEA designer. He started working at IKEA in 2013, and he's the responsible of this beautiful Buvik table that I have behind me, and it's the hero of the product. Hey, Mikael. And Anthony Smith, he's the product developed engineer, also started working at IKEA in 2012. It's amazing to have you here today. Should I dare to say good morgon? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I'm going to start with Mikael. Mikael, you're having an everyday life at home issue today because your kids are unfortunately sick, so if something happens, of course, you can leave the live, but I'm going to really take advantage now to ask you all the questions to you first, and then I'll hand over to Anthony, so you can be really fine with your family. And but I have to thank you in advance for being here with us today. Hello, can I hear you? Are you okay?
Yeah, hello, yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I think we will be fine.
Fantastic. So the first question, I think you were also in this presentation, is when you've talked about democratic design, but how it is this idea of democratic design in the IKEA headquarters on your everyday? How does it work for a product for a designer like you, Mikael?
Yeah, I mean, democratic design is a really good tool that we use when we develop products. So basically, it consists of the 5 points, and every product needs to go through all these 5 points. Otherwise, the product will never end up in the store. And it's form, function, quality, sustainability, and low price. And if we start with the form, we want, of course, all the products to be really, really beautiful. Function, we want them to have a great function to solve some problem in your home. Quality, we want it to have high quality, long lasting. And sustainability, we want it, of course, to be sustainable, using the right material, right choices, be recyclable. And right now we're also looking in a lot to circularity, which is really, really interesting. And then the last one, low price. We want the products to be really affordable because we want as many people as possible to be able to buy our products. And then people often ask me if this tool is it a restriction when you have so much frames? Isn't it hard to design them? But I see it actually the other way around. I see it as a challenge, a really nice challenge, because it's much more. It's easier to design a super expensive, super nice sofa than a super nice sofa that is affordable. So I think it's a great tool.
And what is your inspiration when you think of a product design? Is it your everyday life? Is it your real life experience at home? What is your creative process when designing a product?
Yeah, it's a lot, but basically you can say that we're not looking so much into like short trends. It's more interesting to look at the bigger picture in society, like bigger trends. Like before Corona, we saw that people were moving into the cities, living in smaller apartments, really flexible, fluid homes. And now we see that some people are starting to move out. We see this, as you're talking about, working from home, and we might see some new normal, and looking into that, what kind of products do we need to solve the problems that bring. So it's also really inspiring with a home visits. We do a lot of home visits. We go home to people and see how they actually live and what kind of problems they have, and we try to solve it. And I would say one more really important thing is the collaboration. I mean, when we design products, we work together. We work together with the technicians, the product developer, the supplier, and packaging, and that collaboration is really nice.
And thinking specifically of the product, Burvik, so it's a table that we are so proud of. I actually have one in my home. Can you explain us a bit what was the creative process around Burvik? How did it started? Were your concerns or even struggles, challenges during the process?
Yeah, so you can say that it's usually two kind of projects. So you can get a brief from a product developer that's quite framed. So you know which kind of material you want to use, the price level, the style, and so on. And then we have other projects like the collections that is more open. Then you sit down a bunch of people and start to brainstorm, and you don't really know what to do. But this was quite framed. So I got the brief from the product developer to do a table that is easy to move around and should work in a fluid home. And they had actually been into these kind of products before. But it didn't pass the test. So one of my concerns then was that to make a product that is really strong and durable that passed these rigorous tests. And then you start to. I had to dig out my sketchbook from 2016. So this is the notes from 2016. So this is probably the first table that I did. It's as simple as that, and then it's a lot of research and text, and then you start to sketch like this. And it doesn't need to be like nice drawings. You just want to get everything down on paper. And this is dated August 2016. And then you do a lot of iterations. You try to get all the ideas down on paper. So you can discuss with the technicians, the supplier, and everyone. And it goes on and on like this. And then eventually you find some interesting sketch that you want to take further. And then usually I'm really hands-on, so I go down to the pattern shop and build prototypes. And in this case, I did scale models. So they look something like this then. Let's see if you can see them. So you can recognize from some of the sketches. You try different ones. This is with the rods, and they are soldered with silver soldering. Let's see some. I think this one is quite interesting, and the one you see here is actually quite close to Burvik, right? And what's interesting also that people often ask me, like, how can you be so creative? How can you come up with so many ideas? But I don't think creativity isn't anything magical. Like everyone proposes can be creative. It's just more about hard work and iteration. Actually, you need to iterate until you find something interesting that you can work on, and take it further until you find a perfect product. And then you connect with the suppliers. So here I find some sketches from October 2016, and this is how the sketches can look like when you're at a supplier. So starting more like the construction, how the legs would fit, how you secure the legs and the handle, and so on. And then you start to more iterations. A simple thing like a little feet, like how should it look like? So you need to iterate that to find the perfect one. And then you start to look into colors and materials as well. And then when you are at the factory floor, you do a lot of prototypes, and you adjust them until you're happy about it. And then when you come home, you keep on. You probably do more iterations in the with 3D and SolidWorks. And this is dated in March 2017, and this is quite close to what it looks like in the store, I think. And here we also start to specify the gloss 25, IKEA black #1, and so on. Yeah, so from August 2016 to March 2017 then.
The wideness of the product, so that the things you put in the table don't fall once you're grabbing it. So I think it's so beautifully designed and so handy. As I told you, I have one in my home, and it's beautiful to see also the kids getting it. I get it, so it's such a used product. So thank you for that inspiration. Do you have any other examples of other products that you are proud of within IKEA that really meet this democratic design concept?
So
life at home happening.
Yeah. I mean, all the products need to pass the democratic design, the 5 points. But I think the Vardagen cast iron pot and pan is a good product. Sorry, I missed. What was the question again?
Product that you also are very proud of, and that really meets with also this idea of being democratic and using the 5 dimensions. Something that you also a favorite of yours, apart from Burvik.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think the Vardagen cast iron pots and pans is a really good example, and I actually have it here so you know which one it is. It's this one, cast iron pots and pans. And if you go through that one, the function, I was inspired by old pots and pans from the 50s, and I bought a lot of secondhand pots and pans, and they're super nice, really durable, but they are a bit quite straightforward. It looks like you have a pot and then you just glue the handle onto it. So what we did, we worked more about with the form, the function, to have a nice shape where the handle meets the body, and also working a lot with ergonomics, so it's really easy to lift and so on. And then sorry, life at home again.
It's fine. And probably, I think you're in a hurry. You need to be with your son, with your daughter. So I'll just ask you a final question. When it comes to the product development, of course, you're going to have the full support of the product developer, and we'll talk with Anthony after that. But also with the suppliers, as you mentioned, how important are they in the development of a product? Do you go back on your idea because you didn't see with the supplier that it's not feasible? How does it work? Do you co-create together? Tell us a bit what happens in the plant floor.
Yeah, I think probably the most important thing is the collaboration, whether it's with the technicians, the packaging engineers, or the supplier. And a lot of the stuff happens actually at the supplier when you go there, and you can actually see how the production process is, and you can do it smarter, you can do the construction smarter, and you can utilize the material better, and so on. And I mean, if you are a really good supplier, you can do iterations quite quick. Also, you can do one day you can do the sketches, and the next day you have the prototype, and then you can keep on iterating in it until it's really good. And it's also interesting right now because I feel that it's a bit slower now, because now we have to like send the prototypes back and forth to the supplier. So we have to find a new way of working, I guess. But once we find that way, I think it could be even better, because it's more sustainable, and we can reduce the travels.
That's really good. Thank you. I will not take more of your time. Thank you so much for being with us here. I heard it's a beautiful spring day in Sweden. Actually, it's pouring rain here in Lisbon. So I think there was some reverse weather here today. But thank you so much for having the time to be with us. And now I'm going to speak with Anthony, our product developer, one of the, and I heard one of the best. Anthony, could you please explain a bit what is the why it's so important to have a strong connection and relationship between a designer and a product developer? You work as a team, right?
Yeah, I mean, we work with all the different designers, and as a product design engineer, it's kind of your job to help turn the designer's idea into reality within the constraints of what's realistic. But at the same time, you need to be flexible, to explore new ideas and stretch what you already know. So I guess you're kind of applying your knowledge and experience to support them in delivering their vision from an engineering perspective. And it can be knowledge from industry, other industries, manufacturing techniques, engineering principles, and materials, things like that. But at the same time, it's important to be flexible, because each designer is extremely different. They have their own style and their own background. So you need to create a good working relation with them, because it's vital to deliver a good product in the end. And some designers, they like to work alone, and they involve you at the end when they've got something to show you. But then others, maybe like Mikael, he will get you involved early on, so he can take in the full picture of what's possible and get your input, which is great.
Speaking of the 5 dimensions of democratic design, surely once you select the materials to work and to develop the product that has been sketched on a piece of paper, you probably have a lot to consider. How is that process of choosing the best material, making sure that it fits with sustainability, with quality, with price, with form and function?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a journey, and there's always lots of different options, and it's more and more challenging now with sustainability and circularity is more of a discussion within IKEA. But of course, choosing the right material affects all aspects of democratic design, from the form, the function, the quality, and the low price, and of course, like I said, sustainability. But also within IKEA, I mean, from an engineering perspective, we have very clear requirements on what materials we can use. We almost have like a library of materials, some we can use and some we can't use. And then like PVC is a good example of a widely reused plastic globally that IKEA simply do not use for solid environmental reasons, of course. But in many ways, that can put us at a disadvantage to our competitors, because it's cheap, honestly. So it's always a challenge, but it's always good to innovate and look at other materials out there, and there's a lot going on in industry in terms of better choice of materials, and we have a whole team dedicated to working with that, which is extremely helpful.
Very good. And I'll ask you 2 questions in one.
Okay.
Can you give us an example of a super meaningful project and product that has been developed and with your cooperation, and that really fits with this? Of course, all of them fit, but one that especially you feel you are proud of a product that stands out in the 5 dimensions of democratic design?
Yeah, the one that stands out for me, I guess. I mean, my background is working with taps and showers, and so the Salian BTI tap. And if BTI is not familiar to everybody, it's a breathtaking item. So it's our lowest price bathroom tap. And I partly choose that because Mikael and I worked together on that 4 or 5 years ago now, or at least started. I mean, it's I guess it's close to my heart because I used to work with a tap range. From a form perspective, it's quite generic, appeals to the many people. From a functional perspective, we make it with the same care and solid components as a lot of the more expensive products, meaning it works really nicely and it will last. Then from a sustainability perspective, water saving. I think it's got the cold start feature that many of our more expensive taps have, and also a ceramic disc cartridge, which means it will last. Which of course then goes into the quality aspect as well. And then it's a low price. It is we kind of succeeded and created the lowest priced tap that we ever done before, and I think we labelled it as our BTI. I think in Portugal I checked before we joined, and I think it's €17 for a bathroom tap with a 10-year guarantee, and I think that's something to be proud of.
That's really interesting. And you being a product development engineer, I'm sure you have this really care on the whole product development part. And what about, as you mentioned, this is your meaningful product, so I'm sure saving water is important for you and for IKEA. Can you explain a bit? How do you get inspiration also in trying to find new ways of selecting and helping developing products that actually enable the many people to save such a resource, such an important resource for us?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is close to my heart. I mean, the last 2 years I've been working with a range of product innovation and working on solutions that allow people to save water in the home. I think many people realise, I mean, it's 1/10 of the global fresh water is consumed in people's homes. And this is rapidly increasing, of course, as the population increases. And then if you look into the home, it's showering, which uses the majority of your water, around 40%. Of course, this depends a little bit on where you live. And then in IKEA, we're committed to inspiring and helping people to live healthier, more sustainable lives by reducing their water usage, improving the quality of the water. So yeah, enabling water consumption, reduction of water consumption in the home is my main focus area right now. And innovating new and water efficient ways for people to use less. And I think one product we have coming out shortly, I think it's actually January next year, is Mistel, which is this device which fits onto the ends of bathroom and kitchen taps, which enables the customer to simply use, I think it's up to 90% less water in the bathroom or in the kitchen. That was answering your first question. I think you also asked about inspiration, right?
Absolutely. No, it's. Do you have anything to add? No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of inspiration, I mean, it's. I think it's all the different startups that are out there working with water-saving solutions and bringing them into IKEA and collaborating and co-creating on, getting their expertise and building them into a meaningful solution for the customers is kind of amazing. And for me, that's the biggest inspiration I have right now, I would say. And Miss Stanley is a good example of this. We're working with a small Swedish startup to co-create the solution for the home, fulfilling all aspects of democratic design that we've talked about already.
Very good. And I love this co-creation. I think it's so visible in the work that you guys do, also in this example of campaign we are presenting today, how it was co-created between Sweden and Portugal. And just to end, is there any kind of any other future product that you would love to be part of in the development and making it happen and be visible in our stores soon? Anything you want to tell us? That maybe is high confidentiality, but a little glimpse of something you would like, or you would love to develop in the future.
I mean, I think, of course, for me, at the moment, it's anything connected to water. And I guess one thing we can share is that IKEA partnered up with a small startup in Denmark called Flowloop, and we're developing a water recycling shower for the home. And I think this solution can recycle up to 80% of the water you use in the shower, but also 70% of the energy you would use to heat the hot water for the shower. So I guess that's the only one I can probably share in any detail. But of course, we're working on all aspects of where and how you use water around the home and innovating new solutions to help reduce that. So my for the future, that's me
working with water. Great, and I feel it's super relevant in the market in Portugal, where sometimes we don't save enough water, because in the beginning, if we're heating water, we lose a lot of this resource until the water is really heated. We have this issue in the country, so it would be great to have some sort of a function that enables us to save more water in our everyday. Thank you so much, both you, Michael and Anthony, for being with us today. I think it's high value to show that IKEA not only stands for democratic design, but also has super professional teams in the headquarters developing products that were thought of after needs that consumers are telling us through the global research that we do. It was a pleasure to have you here today. I'll now end in Portuguese, if you don't mind. Muito obrigada a todos, portanto espero que tenham conseguido ficar com mais detalhes desta campanha que se inicia hoje em Portugal. E não só, na verdade a campanha foi muito bem recebida pelos mercados IKEA por todo o mundo, portanto a IKEA na Suécia vai também aplicar esta campanha e lançá-la também esta semana. Portanto é com muito orgulho que, em nome da equipa de marketing da IKEA Portugal e a equipa global de marketing que desenvolveu esta campanha connosco, conseguimos vê-la tornar-se real em todos os mídias possíveis e imaginários do nosso país. Muito obrigada a todos. Caso tenham, obviamente, questões, não hesitem em contactar-nos. Teremos todo o gosto em dar-vos mais detalhes desta campanha. Muito obrigado por terem estado connosco nesta manhã. Que seja num próximo evento fisicamente e presencialmente, mas para já foi um enorme prazer ter-vos connosco a acompanhar-nos e ouvir-nos. Muito obrigada e um bom dia para todos.